Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on personal pronouns. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 2. So we're doing personal pronouns, right? So our chapter is personal pronouns. Our subject is English, which is language arts. Grade 2. And the lessons that we are focusing on under personal pronouns. All right. So personal pronouns. We're going to replace the plural noun. We're going to replace the plural noun with a pronoun. And then it is compound subjects and objects with I and me. And then we're going to choose the correct personal pronoun. So that is going to be our lessons for today under the chapter of personal pronouns. All right, so in our previous lesson, right, we also did personal pronouns. So we had to identify the pronouns. We chose between subject and object pronouns, and we had to replace the singular noun with the pronoun. Now we're going to continue, right? We're going to continue our lessons today by focusing on other lessons, right? But we need to also say what a personal pronoun is. All right, so personal pronouns. And before I go to the other three lessons for today, if we were to identify pronouns, right? A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or it takes the place of nouns, right? All right. So a pronoun. So we can say a pronoun, it is a word that takes the place of a noun or it takes the place of nouns. Then we have singular pronoun and then we have plural pronoun, right? Singular pronouns refers to, let's say, one person, place, or thing, right? All right, so we said we have singular pronouns and then we have plural pronouns, right? And we said singular pronouns, right? It refers to, or it takes the place of either one person, one place, or one thing, right? And if we have a plural pronoun, it refers to more than one person, place, or thing, right? All right. So we see that a singular pronoun, once again, it takes the place of a singular noun. For example, one person, one place, one thing. And if we make an example of that, right? Let's say here we have our sentence, Leah liked the book, right? Then we have Leah is a noun and we have the book is a noun. So instead of just writing Leah or writing the person's name, we can, for example, say either I, we can say you, he, she, it, me, him, or her. All right. So, for example, if we say Leah, right, liked the book. So, Leah is a noun, right? But if we want to replace that noun with a pronoun, and then instead of saying Leah, we can say she liked the book. So, she liked the book. Instead of saying the book, we can say she liked it. And it refers to the book. So, that is now the pronoun, right? So instead of saying the person's name, we can, for example, just give the pronoun, which is, for example, she. Or if you're referring to a boy, then we can say he, right? Or if you're referring to myself, you can say I. All right. And if we look at the few singular pronouns, right? Our singular pronouns are words like I, you, he, she, it, me, him, and her. These are our personal pronouns, right? It's our singular pronouns. It refers to either one person, one place, or one thing. Then we have plural pronouns, right? And plural refers to more than one person, more than one place, or more than one thing, right? That is plural pronouns. So we say plural pronouns. It takes the place of plural nouns, and plural nouns refers to more than one person, place, or thing. And if we look at an example, right? If we say the kids, we are referring to more than one. The kids, like the books, right? The books is also a noun, right? So books. And now we're going to replace the word the kids and we're going to replace the word books with a plural pronoun, right? So we must either replace it with a plural pronoun that is either we, you, they, us, or them. And those are plural pronouns. We need to replace it with one of those words. If we were to refer the word the kids, right? The kids, which is more than one, then we can say they, right? They, we refer to they as for the kids. And if we refer to the books, then we can say them, right? Those are the plural pronouns. It refers to more than one person, more than one place, more than one thing. And we call that singular plurals, singular pronouns, and we call it plural pronouns, right? And once again, a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or a word that takes the place of nouns. All right. So now if we go to today's lesson, right? And today's lesson is one of today's lessons, we said it is to replace the plural noun with a pronoun. Yes, so the words we, you, they, us, and them, they are plural pronouns, right? Those are plural pronouns that you are mentioning there. All right. So now we're going to replace the plural noun, which refers to more than one person, place, or thing, right? We're going to replace it with a pronoun. And we see that the plural pronouns are we, you, they, us, them, right? Okay. If we go to this activity, it says when we go camping, we can never find, we can never find, we need to find, we need to replace the word our flashlights, we need to replace that words with a pronoun, that's either we, you, they, us, or them. So we can say we can go we when we go camping, we can never find what? We can never find our flashlights. We need to replace the word our flashlights. We need to replace this word, our flashlights. All right. So if we were to find the best pronoun, and then if we were to replace the word flashlights, and we can say, when we go camping, we can never find them, right? And them refers to the flashlights. So them refers to the flashlights. All right. So them refers to our flashlights. So once again, before we continue, we said a pronoun. It's a word that takes the place either of a noun or nouns. So those bees, we need to replace the word those bees with pronouns. All right. So remember we said a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or nouns, right? Yes. So them with the B's. So well done. Them is correct. So them is correct because them refers to those, right? I am here. Sorry guys, my thingy just went silent. So you didn't hear me. I apologize. Can you guys hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? All right. I apologize, guys. For some reason, my speaker was just acting up, but I was speaking. Right? Okay. We go to the word elephants. The next one. Elephants have long trunks for smelling and drinking. So elephants have long trunks for smelling and drinking. The word elephant. We need to replace elephants with the base pronouns. Is it we have long trunks for smelling and drinking? You, do we say they have long trunks for smelling and drinking? Us, or do we say them? We need to choose the correct pronoun in order to replace the word elephant. All right, I'm glad you guys can hear me. So, elephants have long trunks for smelling and drinking. We need to select the correct pronoun to replace the word elephant. Do we say we have long trunks, you have long trunks, they have long trunks, us have long trunks, or them have long trunks for smelling and drinking? All right. And if we choose the correct one, we can say, if we replace the word elephant, right, then we can say they have long trunks for smelling and drinking. So well done. They is correct. Now let's go to our test. We need to complete the sentence with the base pronoun, right? And the word in brackets, that is the word that we are going to replace. Sometimes Laura feeds the horses apples, right? So we need to replace the word horses with either them or they. So do we say sometimes Laura feeds them apples, or sometimes Laura feeds they apples? So is it them apples or they apples? Which refers to the horses. So sometimes Laura feeds the horses apples. Is the horses them or is it they? All right, and if we were to choose the correct one, we would say sometimes Laura feeds them apples, and them refers to the horses. So well done. Them is correct, and them refers to the horses. We need to replace Zach and me. Zach and me, right? Miss McDaniel tells Zach and me about some good books. Do we say Miss McDaniels tells us about good books or tells we about good books? Us or we? Zach and me. All right. And if we refer to Zach and me, then we can say Miss McDaniels tells, do we say us about some good books or tells we about some good books? All right. And if we were to complete the sentence with the base pronouns, we can say Miss McDaniels tells us, right? Us all the way about some good books, right? And us is correct. Well done, guys. Let's do one more. Even in the summer, those mountains had snow. So, those mountains, we need to, let's say, replace our word, our plural noun, which is those mountains, with the base pronoun, which is either they or them. All right. And if we refer to those mountains, we can say, even in the summer, do we say they had snow or them had snow, which is the mountains? So those mountains, do we say they had snow or them had snow? The mountains. All right. Then if we choose the base pronoun, we can say even in the summer, they had snow, right? They, which refers to the mountains, those mountains. And they is correct. Well done, guys. Well done, everybody. All right. So now it says we need to select the correct pronoun to complete the sentence. It says, my friends and play after school. We said we have a compound subject, right? And we have an object subject, and that can be either I or we use words like me, right? So, for example, if I say Jake and I, Jesse and I, right? That is I referring to myself, right? Or we can say something and me, right? That is also what you can use, but me and I. So if I say my friends and play after school, do we say my friends and I play after school or my friends and me play after school? All right. And if we refer to, let's say, my friends, we said it is my friends and I. Yes, well done. So we said my friends and I play after school, right? And I is a subject pronoun, right? You can use it as a subject of a sentence. So my friends and I can be used as a subject of a sentence, and it tells the speaker is doing something, and it's usually at the beginning of a sentence. Now we can also say my aunt Anne. Do I say my aunt and I bake cookies, or my aunt and me bake cookies? All right. So we said we have subject pronouns and we have object pronouns. Okay. So now if we're going once again to a subject pronoun, right? We said a subject pronoun is words like I. So I is subject pronoun and it is usually at the beginning of a sentence, right? And it tells that the speaker is doing something. For example, I hug Rick, right? I hug Rick. So I hug Rick, right? So who is doing something? I am doing something because I hug Rick. So our subject pronoun is the word I. Then we also have the word me, and me is an object pronoun, right? So me is an object pronoun. And you can use it after an action verb. So we will first have an action verb within a sentence, then the word comes after the action verb. Betsy, what is wrong? Why are we angry? Why are we sad now? Right? So now we say Rick hugs me, right? So here we have hugs is our action verb, right? So after the action verb comes our object pronoun, which is me. So the object pronoun is me and it's used after the action verb, which is hugs. All right. So we can say with our object pronoun, it's me, and that comes after an action verb, right? Then we have words where we either say the person and I or the person and me, right? Now we can say when a pronoun is connected to a noun with the word and, for example, Rick and I, Rick and me, then it can be hard to tell which pronoun is correct, right? So to tell which one is correct, we need to look at the sentence without the other noun. So we need to say either me or I. But remember, that is either between a subject pronoun or an object pronoun, right? Me, I did not go silent. When I go silent, then it's me giving you a chance to either respond or I'm giving you some time. Otherwise, I'm just going to speak all the time and then it's going to sound overwhelming. So that is why I need to sometimes just stop for some time. All right. If we look at the sentence, it says Mr. Suzuki thanked Patrick and Do we say Mr. Suzuki thanked Patrick and me, or do we say Mr. Suzuki thanked Patrick and I? Which one is the correct one? Mr. Suzuki thanked Patrick and me, or do we say Mrs. Suzuki thanked Patrick and I? All right. If we choose the correct one, and then we can say Mr. Suzuki thanked Patrick and he thanked me, right? So that is then a object pronoun, right? Because it comes after the action verb. So if we were to remove Patrick, it would basically be after the word thanked. All right, now let's go to our test. We now need to select the correct pronoun to complete the sentence, right? You either need to choose I or me. It says Uncle Carson teases my brother and I, or Uncle Carson teases my brother and me. Which one is the correct one? All right, so do we say Mr. Carson teases my brother and I, or do we say my brother and me? We need to choose the correct one. All right. So me is correct. So well done. Me is correct. We need to select the correct pronoun, right? Grandma served the boys and me, or grandma served the boys and I. Grandma served the boys and me, or grandma served the boys and I. We need to select the correct pronoun, either a subject pronoun or an object pronoun. All right, and if we were to select the correct pronoun, right, then we can say grandma served the boys and me, right? Me is correct. So well done. If you said me, then me is correct. Mr. Gaza, Mr. Gaza, right? So do we say Mr. Gaza and me like cats, or Mr. Gaza and I like cats? Mr. Gaza and me like cats, or Mr. Gaza and I like cats? Remember we said that a subject pronoun, right? It comes more like at the beginning of a sentence, right? So even if I were to remove Mr. Gaza and Do I say I like cats or does that sound like me like cats? The subject pronoun, it comes after the action verb. All right, so we're going to say Mr. Gaza and I like cats. All right, so I. Because if we were to remove Mr. Gaza and, then it would sound like I like cats. All right, so the word I is the correct word. My best friend and I love love baseball, or do you say my best friend and me love baseball? All right. So I don't know why I went back, but I was correct. Right? So now we're going to choose the correct personal pronoun, right? If you choose the correct personal pronouns are words like he, him, she, her, it, right? Those are personal pronouns, right? We, us, them, or they. Those are all personal pronouns. And we say the pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or nouns, right? So we can either use he or him to refer to one boy or a man. For example, John is here, sees you, you see him, for example, right? Or we can use she or her, or it, or we, or us, right? Those are all personal pronouns. All right. If we refer to Jack, right? If we refer to Jack, it says Jack tells a lot of jokes. Everyone likes us because he's funny, or everybody likes him because he's funny. So Jack tells a lot of jokes. Everyone likes us because he's funny, or everyone likes him because he's funny. If we refer to Jack, so we're referring to Jack, right? Yes, and if we refer to Jack, then we can say everyone likes him because he is funny. So well done. Him is correct. That's a personal pronoun referring to Jack. My sister sings in a rock band. Do we say she has a great voice or he has a great voice? We're referring to my sister. Do we say she has a great voice or he has a great voice? We're referring to my sister. All right. And if we choose the correct personal pronoun, right, that refers to my sister, then we can say, my sister sings in a rock band. She has a great voice. So the word she refers to my sister. So well done. She is correct. Stacy and I. Stacy and I met you last year. Do you remember them or do you remember us? We're referring to Stacy and I. Stacy and I. Do you remember them or do you remember us? So Stacy and I met last year. Do you remember them or do you remember us? All right. And if we choose the correct personal pronoun, then if we refer to Stacy and I, then we can say, do you remember us? And us refers to Stacy and I. All right. So that is now the end of our lesson on personal pronouns, right? We say personal pronouns, it refers to we can basically, let's say, a pronoun, it replaces the noun or nouns, right? So personal pronouns is words like he, she, them, us, um he, she, them, us, him, her, and so on, right? And we made mention of subject pronouns, which is I, and object pronouns, which is where we use the words him, me, right? And then we also had to replace the plural noun, which refers to more than one person, animal, place, or thing, right, with the correct pronoun. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on personal pronouns. Thank you very much for joining the class, and I really hope you're going to have a good evening further. Goodbye.